I'm talking with LeFever from Commoncraft, and some of you guys may not know the company, you may know the company, but I'm sure you've seen the videos because they've been around for some time. So Lee, you have made an excellent, let's say, I would say a living off of really pioneering simple ways to explain to people concepts that are sort of above and beyond, and most people that, again, as we're talking to people who might view this, things like RSS, how to use Twitter, which was a difficult concept and still unfortunately is a little difficult for some people even now, and then ultimately things like Dropbox and so on. So you came here and did an opening talk called The Art of Explanation.
Yep.
You have a book called The Art of Explanation, and you also did a presentation. What made you decide to sort of talk about this topic, and then maybe talk a little bit about why it's needed to talk about this?
Sure. You know, The Art of Explanation, the book, and everything I've done since 2012 has really been built on all the experience we had in making explainer videos. Which we started doing that in 2007. We were one of the first companies to really market the idea of videos that have the specific focus of explaining
And now
things.
It seems a lot of people are doing it.
You know, I think we were very early in that.
Yep.
And having done it since 2007, we learned a lot about how to look at something like Twitter or RSS and package it into a 3-minute video that actually helped someone get it. And all those strategies we realized weren't related to the right video. It was actually the script, and it was just communication. And all those things work whether there's media involved or not. It's just communication skills.
That was my my observation, was that when you think about it, you think, okay, well, he's talking about, you know, like, oh, the video should be this long, and this is how you should write the script. But I mean, some elements had to do with the script, but really you had some interesting examples of how to like create reference between things that are familiar, for instance, and a number of other techniques that when you really think about how you can explain something, especially something, I mean, when you're explaining it, it's because it's unfamiliar to somebody. And so could you go into that a little bit? There were a couple things you mentioned again about how to sort of anchor something to something that is, that already exists, something that's in the familiar. And what did you call that?
Connection.
Connection.
Yeah. So the book and my talk is focused on a few what we call stepping stones in explanation. And the beginning, for instance, is remembering to build context. And that's talking about the forest before you talk about the trees. And that helps people understand ideas better. Also making connections using analogy and saying, if you understand X, then Y is like it. And that's a really good way to get people started understanding something.
Yep.
There's also the idea of story and sort of representing something in a story that's shows a person's experience and how they learn to do something as something that relates well to other
Which is
people.
different than just flat out saying it and describing it, right? When
definitely.
you put it into a story form. And I think you even mentioned in your presentation that, you know, story is an ever more popular way. I mean, it's been around for a long time, but we're wired to consume stories and sort of
we're
get it.
automatically attracted to it. Yep, that's right.
So the interesting thing is again, like you know, even in looking at your videos, I forget how many of those videos were so effective because of the way they were delivered, but still they were pieces of paper with illustrations. And nowadays we see people on, specifically on YouTube, communicating these concepts and ideas through very intricate and complicated animations and things like that take a lot of time and energy and skill to do so. Are you still producing some of your videos in that sort of very, I mean, I won't say simple, but it's effective way?
Yeah, sure. You know, we're big believers in understanding being the goal. And I think some of the videos that you're talking about, I think sometimes style is the goal. And beauty is the goal. Design is the goal. And I think our goal is understanding. And to get to understanding in a video, I think you have to think about removing the noise. And that's why I think our format works, is nothing appears on the screen that's not there for a purpose. And that purpose is relating an understandable idea.
The funny thing about that is I remember looking at the Twitter stream during your presentation, and somebody said, "Thank God for LeFever's presentation because I can see it." And then what they meant was, like, on your screen, you had things big, you removed what wasn't needed, and it was even that your presentations, which are not those animations, it's slide deck, it was easy for folks to understand and to see, and they didn't feel like they were trying to sort of, like you said, find the signal in the noise, right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I think there's in psychology there's a thing called dual coding theory, which means that you learn best when you can see something and then hear something that's related to it but is different. And that's what I think we do, is we show images and then I talk, and that combination I think works.
Great. So I'm going to get the book, Art of Explanation,
Yep.
and that's what you had to do with the presentation and everything as well. And that's been out for a while, so it should be easy enough to find out there, right?
It's everywhere.
All right. Thanks
Awesome.
for joining
Thank
us.
you.